Hey, it's his sister Roland. All I need is a few minutes.
I once heard that if it doesn't make sense, it's a lie. Now, I know you're going to go look for something that doesn't make sense, but it's the truth, but that's an exception. The exception is not the rule, the majority is the rule. And many people are upset because, not many people, just a handful of people, but they're loud and whatever, upset because, you know, why is everybody trying to investigate this young lady, Carlethia, Carlee Russell, that her lies began on July 13, was supposed to end July 15, but it continues. Oh, there are excuses being made. Oh, she may have had some type of mental crisis, and some people shouldn't be digging into her stuff. We don't know what she was going through. Whatever. Okay, whatever. There are many things that are being said about this case online. However, we are going to take a look at the press conference that they had about this case and the initial investigations that prompted the police to investigate this young lady. Let's go.
She told detectives she ran through lots of woods until she came out near her residence. During this interview, detectives noted that Carlee had a small injury to her lip, and she claimed that her head was hurting. She also had a tear in her shirt. Detectives also noted that she had $107 cash in her right sock.
So these were the initial findings the police observed in interviewing this girl and looking at her appearance. We're not going to look at what is being said on social media because those things have not been investigated and found out to be true. But she said that she ran through a lot of woods, and then somehow running. She don't have no GPS. She didn't have no phone or whatever it is because she left her. She didn't have a phone. She didn't have her Apple Watch, so she ran and she just happened to run into the direction of her home, and running through all those woods. Nothing. She only had a cut on her lip, and then I believe he said like a tear on her clothes, but she was running through a lot of woods. Then, with all this running, she had $107 cash in her socks, but she was running through the woods. These were the things that did not make sense. And these initial findings showed that she was lying, or let's say she was not being forthcoming, just to be nice.
We've asked to interview Carlee a second time, but have not been granted that request. As you can see, there are many questions left to be answered, but only Carlee can provide those answers. What we can't say, but only Carlee can provide those answers. What we can't say is that we've been unable to verify most of Carlee's initial statement made to investigators, and we have no reason to believe that there is a threat to the public safety related to this particular case.
And another thing that didn't make sense to me, maybe it didn't make sense to the police either, was when she said the person that supposedly abducted her came out of the woods. She just walked out of the woods. But when the person told her to go through the woods, she climbed a fence. Where was this fence? Was the fence inside the woods? Was the fence outside the woods? Was it in or out? For why the person walked out of the woods, but you climbed the fence? And then you heard that the police said that they asked to interview her a second time because remember, they just received the call. They was asking her some questions because they had to ask her some questions before, the paramedics or whoever came to take her to the hospital. So they didn't finish. They asked to interview her a second time. They have not been granted that request. So if you are telling the truth, you want this person who supposedly abducted you and have this child that used this child as bait, why are you why did you not go and speak to the police? Why have you yet spoken to the police for the second time? Why is that? If you're telling the truth, yes, you have been through so much, you may need time, but the police would have said, yeah, they have not been granted that request because they said they need some time, but you can't do that because even though you may need time, you've been a victim of crime of a crime, there's a certain time frame that they have to investigate so they could get this person. The longer you take, so that you don't talk to the police, they don't interview it, you make it harder for them to find this person unless there is nobody. And this young lady or her family not cooperating with the investigation is not a good look at all. And they are not cooperating because they are making it difficult for the police to get a second interview. And just like I said before, people will say, oh, she went through traumatic stuff. She needs time to process. She needs time. No, not when you have an investigation. You have a person on the loose that's using a child to lure people and then putting people in trailers and feeding people cheese and crackers. They need to get this person off the street. They need to get this woman and so-called man off the street. But you are prolonging the interview process. Yeah, these were the stuff. These were that stuck out to me. That prompted probably the police to say, "Yeah, this girl is lying. This girl's not being okay. This girl's not being forthcoming. Trying to be nice." And the memes are going around with this is very similar to Jesse or Jussie, whatever his name is, Smollett, because he did something similar, lie and said this is what happened to him, and all the time it was just a hoax. Though different scenarios were used, but it's the fact that, the story went viral and people were feeling sorry for them, and all this time it was not true. The story was not true. And many people have the right to be upset and question the things that does not make sense in this situation, because there are so many victims that have been abducted and they have yet to find them. Some they have found and they are no longer here. And for you, and some of them, they did not even get all of this coverage. This literally went viral. This is trending. This is a trending story, an actual uh, girl that does not have like a celebrity status or whatever, or she doesn't have a millions of followers, and then this story went viral, and come to find out it was not true. Of course, people are going to be upset because then this can also be used as say this is why we do not put all this effort in looking into stories like this. And in my opinion, I believe this story went viral because, as we know, the Bible says that the devil is the prince of the power of the air. That means that gives an authority over things that's above. And he's also the father of lies. Because the way this story went viral, we all know stories that involve black women usually don't go anywhere, don't get national coverage, social media coverage. It may get some type of social media coverage, but to have national coverage, different news outlets talking about, that's not normal. That's not the norm. That is not the norm at all. But this went viral, and come to find out, it was a lie. It was a lie because why? The prince of the power of the air is push this story in every avenue because they already knew it was a lie, because it had more other women that's probably going to get abducted, kidnapped, and taken out, so that they don't get the help that they need because of this one person. You can't. How can you take an exception? That's what she did. That's what she chose to do, and make it and make it seem that this is what all black women or young girls, young black girls do. This is what she did. And this is why a lot of lies are being pushed in media, because it's controlled by the devil, who's the prince of the power of the air. This is why a lot of degenerate stuff, things that, that are destructive to society, this is what is being pushed because of who controls the things that influence people. Media influence people, and the devil has control over that. He does not have complete control, but he has a level of control. And this is what one of the reasons why this story went viral, because it was a lie, and it was a way to get so that it can affect other black women's cases and say, oh yeah, remember that Carlee Russell? She probably did, this young girl probably got abducted for real, maybe in Tennessee, maybe in Texas. Say, oh, don't even pay no mind. She probably did a Carlee Russell. Now this is gonna be a Carlee Russell or Carlee Smollett, because I think that's what they call it now. And then this person who actually got abducted, whose life is actually in danger, is going to be ignored because of what this young lady did. And remember, what happened to this young lady that did not actually happen to her, according to investigations that the police have done, comes on the heels of that movie that came out, Sound of Freedom. With the guy that played Jesus in Passion of the Christ. So this is one of the first times we're getting a movie that talks about trafficking in the actual movies. In a long time, these stuff are in documentaries. You have to go look for them. You can find them on Netflix, you can find them on Prime, Hulu, or whatever, but they never make it to the movies, not a lot, especially something that's particularly focused on that. Yes, there may be movies that have it, shed a slight, a little light on it, but this is an actual movie that was dedicated to trafficking. And then for this story to come out, where she spun the story, and remember, she was looking up the movie Taken. In her Google search, she looked it up. And then the story that she spun was a little kid, you know, that seemed to be used as a bait, and then she got abducted. So many people probably was going out there looking, searching for, thinking that, wow, they're gonna finally be like, the guy that played in The Sound of Freedom. They're gonna finally be that bad, like they could be like the FBI agent, and then find this girl and then rescue a bunch of other women that probably was in this trailer. And then it was a lie. Shame. And then it's the people for me making excuses and then shaming people because they're asking questions. Or we should just be happy that she's home safe. Oh, is they only doing it because she's a black woman? If she was a white woman, they would not investigate her story. Really? So nobody, you cannot hold women accountable, and looks like you cannot hold black women accountable. How can somebody do better if you don't call out, hey, you didn't do this right, hey, you shouldn't have did it this way, so that they can do better? But nope, don't say anything. She's already been through enough. The color of her skin, she's already been through enough. Leave her alone. Yes, she probably messed up, but don't say anything. Then the person is not never going to do any better. Not sure if the family and this young lady is taking the time before they give their second interview to the police, because they are consulting a lawyer. Why you need to consult a lawyer when you're supposed to be the victim, I don't know. But hopefully they do it quickly, you know, if they want to. Anyway, that's all I had to say about the situation. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.